Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 161 of the Jiu Jitsu Dummies podcast. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, that's website design, SEO, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can absolutely help. We're actually talking to people a lot about AI and how SEO affects AI results. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram and our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. You can request a free review of your online presence right there on the homepage today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a black belt training out of Coral Springs, BJJ in Coral Springs, Florida. We got Christian behind the camera.
Hey.
You bastard.
Wow.
He does it like that on purpose now. Bo's not here today. In studio, we have Dru Phoenix, returning former kind of co-host once in a while, former guest, 3 or 4 time guest now, right? More than, oh shit, with the co-hosting, it's like you've been on like probably 10 plus, right?
Yeah, I actually went back and looked at the first one we did.
Oh, the one in the conference room.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When I was like Mr. PTSD expert.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty cool. Because that's when I was like really in it.
I think we told you, we were supposed to do 2 that day and you got a call, and the second one, I think a family member or something that passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just immediately stands out to me. I remember we were going to do 2. I think that at that time we were doing like an hour and we were shooting 2. Like if we shot, we tried to shoot 2.
Yeah.
At the same time, and sometimes it would be just like different guests would come in, and it was at that time it was like my coach, somebody local, and now it's famous guys like you, everybody's
famous. Nah, bro, look at you with the fancy studio. You're like Jiu-Jitsu Joe Rogan.
Hey. That's the second time somebody called me Joe. No, he said we're going to be on Joe Rogan for Academy Safe.
Oh, definitely.
That would be crazy.
Real quick, my prediction is Milton will be on Rogan podcast probably in the next year or 2.
Listen,
for
your
what in
lips,
particular?
not very religious, but from your lips to God's ears.
I think Academy Safe's going to blow up, and then he's going to do it.
Are you running that? Is that your thing? All right, we got to talk about that.
Come aboard, man. Come aboard.
Definity.
I'll give you the friends and family rate just to get you on. Just cover the cost. Get your people signed up. I'll get you on. I think it's a game changer. So I can officially announce. So let's go back and say, number 1, we have Rob from McDojo. So as far as like the people that are involved, so Academy Safe, right? We're academysafe.org. It's a registry of academies that are following certain rules that include background checks, safe sport certification, CPR, first aid, right through checking their insurance, lineage. Like, is this guy really a black belt? Not just for jiu-jitsu, for all martial arts, right? So we have 8 different things that we make people do, right? Nobody else is doing it. At best, coaches might have to do the background check and safe sport. Like, are you registered with IBJJF? Like, are you like the affiliate? Like, if you want to be the affiliate, the top of the affiliation, I guess. Like, if you want to register, and then, like, so when you go to IBJJF, you're under somebody else.
Yes.
Okay. So the only time that anybody else makes you do that, as far as the IBJJF, is only the coach has to do the background check and safe sport. We're doing you and any of your employees, any coaches, the front desk girl, you got a driver that goes to pick up the kids at the school. I mean, all those people should be background checked. I think they should, right? There's just too much going on, right?
No, I'm not. I'm definitely down for that.
That's like the basics, right? So we got very lucky. I brought the idea to Rob from McDojo. He's just like, people have been after me to do this for years. Milton, what do you need from me? I'm in. So it's like, I called him just to like, am I crazy? I just registered this name. I'm doing a logo. Like, am I nuts? Like, am we gonna really be able to? And he was just like, I'm in. It's like, oh shit. All right. Then I interview this Joe Scargill, this Secret Service agent. We go to lunch. He goes, USA Wrestling kind of does this, and he shows me who it is, and I grab the name of the company, and it winds up they got purchased by NBC Universal. So NBC Universal like runs that background, that part of our platform, where they do the background check, upload documents and shit like that. So it's just like, again, these big names. And then he goes, anything you need from me, I'd love to be involved with this. And I'm like, I'm trying to get people on the board member. So Rob, then Joe. Then we had a local guy that was like a fan of the show that does PR, has written some books, Roberto Santiago. He jumps on in the PR seat. Now we have, as of yesterday, he officially signed on, Paul Geller. Paul Geller is part of one of the largest, the easiest way to do it is say he sued Meta. He sued, I think back when it was Facebook. He has sued pharmaceutical companies. Like, he's got some of the biggest payouts, like in the billions, for clients that have, sued these, these class action suits and sued these big companies. Litigation attorney, I'm sorry. He's a litigation attorney. His firm, I was actually kind of like also looking it up. He's like a tier 1 firm. It's like they get rated by, there's like a company, I think it's called Legal 500, and they get rated in tiers. Like, he's in tier 1 in his field. So now we have this black belt, ATT days. Like, he goes back to the ATT days. He trains at 10th Planet as well. We got some heavy hitters. Some heavy hitters. Pompano. Okay, he lives like right by the one in Pompano. I think when Pompano popped up, he was like, hey, let me try going here. So he's an ATT guy, and now he's training there. So, like, we've just gotten really lucky with, it's really everybody we met has come from the podcast, but we've got some heavy hitters. Rob from McDojo, his presence is like unmatched. There's nobody that is like part of all martial arts that has a bigger presence than him. Like, if you wanted to include Rogan and things like that, but somebody that's doing, like just talking about martial arts.
And he's been doing it for like 20 years.
He's been close to doing it more, I think, probably 2 decades, and been involved with martial arts. Yeah. So we've got him as a heavy hitter on the social media side. We've got a Secret Service agent who's introduced us to the Center for Missing and Exploited Children. That place, I believe the location here in West Palm Beach, we're supposed to do a walkthrough, is actually run by the guy, who's the guy that did America's Most Wanted? That guy.
The Voice, that guy?
With just the host, Walsh, John Walsh? Is it John Walsh?
Yeah.
Well, right.
Where his kid disappeared at the Hollywood.
Adam, right? They did the movie about him back in the 80s. Well, his other son runs that place. Right, so like just the level of people that have like been coming out and like supporting us and doing this. We've got a tournament system. I don't want to say who it is. Tournament system signing on, and we have one of the biggest colleges in California. They have 20 martial arts programs that they're going to register with us. So like, all this shit is just happening organically. People are like reaching out. Hey, I'm interested in that.
The world knows it needed to be done.
Yes.
You were just the guy to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. It was.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, man.
Yes, because it's much needed. These kids need to be safe. Because here's the thing about child predators, or it's that you're not going to let your guard down around somebody that you don't know. Like, a stranger isn't going to come out of nowhere and take a kid from one of us, right? But it's the close friend that you let come hang out at your house all the time, and you trust them enough to, hey, go pick up my daughter.
It's usually somebody
for XYZ.
It's somebody you know.
Right? And even though they may show you a red flag or two, you're not going to really like put too much attention because of how much history you may have with this person. And then all of a sudden now, your daughter turns 18 and they're magically in love.
So this is when you do the Safe Sport certification, you understand that there's the grooming of the child and there's the grooming of the adults in the family, which I had never really looked at. Right. So again, I don't use names. People can know where I train, but I don't say his name. I don't say the place. But that was part of the problem where I used to train, which was some of the parents who have stayed knowing that he did things that were morally wrong, where he was like, he pulled a Popovich, basically. He's trying to, with the students, the wives, the moms, get them to cheat. Until I listened to the Safe Sport, I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. A lot of the parents that didn't want to leave, I love them to death. They're my friends. I don't fault them for it. I understand. But that's part of grooming, where he's got the families believing, all right, he did that, but he's never going to do anything bad to my child, right? Or
there goes that red flag.
What I fucking hate, though, is, that's fucked up. And I'd be like, but it didn't happen to you, so you don't leave. But what if it happened to you? So what if he did I'll ask you, what would you do if you found out your coach at your jiu-jitsu academy was trying to get your wife to cheat on you? What would you do? Gut reaction.
Doug, I'd whoop his ass.
What would you do? What would you do?
Same.
Everybody says the same thing. I've heard I'd kill him, I'd hit him with a bat, I'd beat the shit out of him. Like, everybody says that. But because it didn't happen to him, there's no reactions like I can say because it wasn't me. So I kind of want to say, well, then your wife must be ugly because he didn't hit on her. Shit. You want, but that's not the case. I'm fucking around. No, that's not true. That is not true. They're beautiful women. There's women that train there that I hope I can still consider friends, but I'm definitely I don't have the same relationship with them because I've talked about it. Like, how you got the women at my gym are the ones that told me some of the worst things that he's been accused of, And I'm like, why don't you leave? And they're like, because of the wife. If I leave, the gym falls apart. She doesn't have a career. They lose their gym, blah, 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 blah. And I go, I understand that. But do you understand how you staying there brings in more women, and that's more, in my mind, more lambs to the slaughter? Potentially more people. Well, now he's found God, and he's like all this stuff and been baptized. Like, okay, that's all great. You know, he got into one of he like started a program with the church that we started like talking about, and then I think they got rid of the program, and now it's back. Yeah. But imagine if it happened to you, and that's the thing that I can't. This didn't happen to me. It happened to people that I know. Yeah, it didn't happen to me. But there was one thing that I'll tell you off air that was like I had found out about this stuff, and then there was something else that was said to me that I can't prove. That was I'm gone, and I'll tell you off air what that is, because it's totally an accusation, and again, rumors get started.
Understood.
So,
understood. But you see, it gives way to this issue that people stand by people more than they do principle, and that's wrong. Okay? Because if I had a jiu-jitsu coach, right, and I knew that he was trying to do something like that, like try to go after some of the students' wives, even just try to fuck the students, right?
Yeah.
Like, I believe that, like, if two people meet and they just happen to be in the academy and they fall in love, that's something different. But when it becomes predatory, that's when it's
over and over again, and you're banging and you're breaking up, and you're banging this one and banging that one.
You're going to this one, you go to that one, whether it's the coach, whether it's a student. Because I had a student before that, you know, I see him with this girl, and then I knew that he was at this girl, and we used to live in the same complex, and I'm like, oh shit, I see this girl's car. And he actually left before I could even say anything, but I was getting ready to check him, because it's like, bro, can't be doing that.
Now, yeah, that's the thing, is like, as a business person, I've always respected that at any gym that I've been at. I want to add to, not take away. Yes. And I didn't work at any of the, I worked my first gym with Kenny. I kind of worked there, right? He would insure you. That's where we met. Yeah. You know, when he would say he'd be on a stakeout, or he'd be doing this or that, or he just wasn't able to. I had the key. I had open. It was a white belt opening to do the kids class and even do the adults class. But I was older. It wasn't like I was a kid. I was already in my 40s. But other than that, I've never worked at an academy. I didn't work at my last academy. I don't work at the one that I'm at now. But I even realized, like, someone said, this is shit where you eat, right? This is the classic, don't shit where you eat. Unless unless you just know you or that person are eventually going to leave. Somebody's going to wind up leaving if the situation goes off the rails. But, you know, at the same, like, I don't want to, this is my happy place. I don't want this drama there. And these kids that do this. And I know of a situation in another part of Florida where it's a very, very young owner was like the main coach, the partner left because a family owned it. They would pitch it as like their son was the owner and he was like in his teens. When he got older, he's banging all the girls. You know, he's banging the ones that are in his age range, right? Yeah. But he's banging the girls from the gym, and then the coach was just like, you can't be doing this. And then they split. Now that guy opened his own gym. So if they're listening, they know who they are. But the mom wound up putting out like a post and like kind of aired it. Like, hey, he's saying this about, but is he dating the girls at the school? And I understand, like, these days, right, we have kids that are like, homeschooled, especially in jiu-jitsu, homeschooled. The gym is their life. The gym is their social life too. I get it. But as a parent, you have to say, look,
you don't shit where you eat, man.
You're going to fuck up the business.
You don't shit where you eat.
You're going to fuck up the business, though, too. You're going to, hey, listen, this is a business. You're going to fuck up the business, and you already have this bad reputation. I know. I don't even go to that school, and I know about it. I'm hundreds of miles away, and I know about it. Don't you think that I've had a girl that trained there actually reach out and was like, I could tell you some stories. A young girl, under 8, and I'm like, I didn't really want to have these conversations with her, so I was, it's just like, she's a listener. She probably knows who she is if she's listening to this. It's great. Go, talk to your parents, talk to other people. It'd be very odd for me, a 50-year-old guy, to be talking to you about who this other teenager is sleeping with. It's an odd conversation. It's just not something that I feel equipped to talk to somebody about. I'm not a professional. I'm not your, I'm not an counselor or something. But so I was just, when you're 18, come on and we could talk about it. But it's just an odd even I feel it's an odd conversation to be having with an adult male like that.
I love that. Because if you would have had the conversation, technically there wouldn't have been anything wrong. But the fact that you stood on principle to say, you know what, she's underage. I'm not supposed to be having this conversation with her when she turns 18.
Even if she just wants to like tell me stuff that's happening with other people, like it's still it's inappropriate.
Yeah,
I have girls. I don't want to.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what does the kid say? It gives you the ick. It gives you the ick. Like I was just like, I don't feel comfortable with it. I feel because of Academy Safe, I get a lot of people reaching out. Even when I've had adult women call and say, hey, listen, I just want you to know this is great. This thing happened to me. If you don't mind, give me a second, I want to tell you what happened. And I'm like, okay. And I've listened to these stories and they're bad and they're uncomfortable. And I'll listen, but I've told people like, we're not a reporting agency. I'm like, if something bad happened, like number one, if somebody's in danger, dial 911, report them immediately. You can go to Safe Sport. Hopefully Safe Sport would either send you in the right direction, or if it's an Olympic-based martial art, they could potentially investigate. So if it was like USA Wrestling, Taekwondo, Judo, like any of the sports, they cover any Paralympic or Olympic sports. The reason we use them is for the course. That's our only tie to them, although we have them on our resources page as somebody you can report to. But yeah, again, I'm like, I'm not a counselor. I'm just a guy that's sick of seeing the shit. And even though in my situation, I don't know that a background check would have stopped what an adult was doing with other adults. But it does go back to, look, we're in South Florida. We know about the fight sports stuff that happened. Some of that stuff might have gotten found out. If it was a requirement or you're pitching that you're doing background checks, when that guy Marcelo, I think it was at Wagner's, Marcel was at Wagner's, right? If people would have been like, hey, if we background checked it, like that would have come up, right? If people would have been like, hey, you say you do background checks. Have we checked this guy? Who's this new guy? At least it's on people's radar, and at very least, it's on people's radars right now.
I think there's a lot of places where people are afraid to ask those questions because of the culture of where they are. Not implication on anyone in particular that's been mentioned, but we all know there's like, I call them cult gyms. You couldn't possibly question the leader.
Yeah, that's my old gym.
Master.
That was my old gym.
Do people call you master?
Bro, every time they do, I correct them.
I hate
Don't
it.
do that.
So it's usually sensei, master,
coach.
professor. Do you like professor? You don't like
professor's
professor?
cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's like professor.
Professor do jiu-jitsu.
Do you mandate?
No.
Yeah, like I don't mandate. Some of my guys like, dude, if you're older than me, don't call me sir. Like coach, cool. Hey Ben, no problem.
Yeah.
Like hey coach, cool. Like you will call me master and you will bow. Yeah. Don't look in my.
I feel
that's creepy.
Don't look at me when you tie your belt.
I like professor.
Yeah.
But like at my old gym where I got promoted, we started calling each other professor, but it was a little tongue in cheek because I do know, right? Professor is what Brazilians say is really teacher.
Yeah.
They would say it as teacher. We carry it and we say professor here. Yeah. So my old, I wasn't coaching, but we would say it to each other, but he would never say it to us. Like maybe if it was said, it was a little bit more tongue in cheek, like professor, At my new gym, you're a black belt. They call you professor. Coral Springs BJJ.
Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah, they're
very well liked.
They're awesome. They're extremely well liked, and they have a really great the Sunday open mat. That's the gym that all the gym. I was always wondering. We have an open mat, and nobody would come to our open mat at my old school. Everyone's over there.
And my school.
You're further away. I'm in Coral Springs.
Yeah, no. They do
you.
because they do gi, right? So like the best gi open mat in Broward is that one.
And yours is yours the best snow gi?
Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
Which is cool because like I've never advertised about it.
Yeah.
And bro, my
people
Sundays
know it's the vibe. People
packed.
When people show up and they feel that vibe, they feel like that. I've always spoken highly about your gym and the way you train people.
Thank you.
Good.
There's one thing I want to share that I do before open mat that I got from the Marine Corps that I think that if more academies do, not that I think, I believe that if more academies do this, then their open mats will be ran a lot smoother and safer. So it's a safety brief. So as soon as everybody comes in, I'm like, I let them, do a couple warm-up rolls, and then I call everybody in, and I'm like, come here, nerds. And then I'm like, all right, first of all, if you look down at your nails and you see the white part, you are wrong. You need to exit stage left right now and go cut them. Next thing, if you have any Band-Aids, I need to see what you're hiding under there because if I see any signs of infection, then I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right. Next thing, no fly zone. There will be no flying shit in here. So no flying scissor heel shit,
like
no flying.
No fly zone.
No flying triangles, no flying arm bars, none of that. All right. We like wrestling, but be careful of wrestling on top of each other because a lot of injuries happen that way. leg locks are just like any other submission. Make sure that you don't rip them, just like you don't rip any other submission. And I think that's about it. And I always forget the last part. And I always ask my like other black belts or whoever's there, like, are we done? Like, is that it? Oh, and also, don't leave the mat without your shoes. And I don't charge you shit. Just leave me a 5-star Google review.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile is seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. So now it just gets everybody on the same page, and I've had multiple people that just like will stop.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
they'll tell you thank you.
Yeah, they'll say thank you.
Because that fucking guy's nails was out of control.
Yeah.
What is the I've been dying. I forgot exactly how you said it. I've mentioned it before. What's that thing? How you say it? Like I teach my white belts heel hooks because they know how to defend. What was that? The way that you said it? Do you remember?
I heel hook my white belts because my white belts know how to heel hook.
There you go.
Something like that.
Because it's not. It wasn't that exactly, but pretty close. Like it's like maybe I teach my.
I
let them
heel
do.
hook
I let
white
them
belts
heel
because my white belts know how to heel hook.
Because they know how
like
to defend it too. Like I think it was
Yeah.
about defending it. Like you teach them, you've taught them how to defend it. It's like something. Yeah, shit. We got to look back at the episode that you said it. I remember because I want to quote it again, and I'm like, damn, I forgot exactly how he said it. But the man's here. Let me ask him. But it was we had talked about like, people back a couple of years ago. People were like, you shouldn't be teaching white belts heel hooks. Period.
Yeah.
And you were like, nope. They and
number
even
one bullshit.
Number
one bullshit.
Yes, brother.
Brother. Number one bullshit, brother.
Best accents in the game right here.
Yes, sir.
It's Coach Ben.
So I remember when I was coming up, like I tapped black belts way before I should have because I was doing leg locks and they were like, we don't do leg locks.
Yeah.
That's for the luta libre guys.
How dare you?
No. Yeah. I was called a foot peddler. I was called a cobbler. I was called a shoemaker. I was called a thief. So in the beginning, footlocks were thieves' moves. They were known as thieves' moves, and then they would just call you a shoemaker.
What about like was
you know the history
locks like
behind
that too?
Not totally, or at least the version that I've been taught. So you have jiu-jitsu, which is a primary position over submission style. You have luta libre, which is the catch wrestling of South America, and that is a scramble to finish based style. So you're basically arguing drilling versus eco right now. It's the same kind of bullshit. The argument that the guys above me was like, their grappling sucked. That's why they had to scramble. They couldn't keep up in the gi because they didn't understand control. They didn't understand how to use the tools applied to them. And if you look like in the 50s when they would fight a lot, jiu-jitsu won a lot of the time. And I think what would happen is when they weren't winning, it was typically footlocks and getting caught in scrambles. So, we know historically, like the Gracie family is known to be quite egotistical. Mm-hmm. And so instead of learning leg locks, you just go, no. Those are cheap. They're too easy. They're for
I think like the history going even way back to Brazil is like, wasn't it Fada? I learned this from Kenny.
I was just about to say
right.
The same
it was
shit.
Fada was it was Gracie and Fada, and the Gracies went and monetized jiu-jitsu in open schools, and Fada went up into the favelas and like gave it away and told people, and they learned leg locks, and then when they competed against each other, I believe like it was like they would always win because they had the leg locks.
It's very possible.
Well, it's probably like fast forward close, almost 100 years, and it's like the same thing again happening now, right? It's like the guys that know leg locks dominate jiu-jitsu. I mean, it just is.
But isn't it kind of fading out a little bit at the moment? People are starting to catch up defensively, and now we're starting to look at another shift.
I think it's always been like that. I mean, right? You guys have been around a little bit longer than I have. In jiu-jitsu in the sport. I think that's like cyclical with everything.
Yeah,
like, you know. So, but
we're gonna fly back to 2002 Smash Pass Jiu-Jitsu to shut down all the leg inversions and entries, and we're just gonna cycle back in another.
Well, I mean, but didn't that happen too? Right, with like Nicky Rod, like with the like smashing and passing and right, the body lock passing, like
Carlson
he's.
And then they develop buggy chokes to go against that. So,
and then,
those are easy. Just put your arm on the other side of their head.
And then anytime,
bro, you and I can't buggy choke anybody, bro. You see these legs?
Anytime that we see this stuff,
my legs are okay.
Anytime we see this stuff, there's some son of a bitch finds some video from like Japan, like black and white, like all like weird, you know, like old, and it's like and it's just like. They were doing that back then. Bro. Like, we just haven't got a buggy choke video yet, but we've seen it all. We've seen heel hooks. We've seen stuff from Elio Gracie on leg locks and heel hook. Like,
I was 100% sure I invented a pass, okay? Listen.
If you're 100% sure about everything, you're probably wrong.
I was 100% sure. So, it was a derivative of a Jeff Munson pass. You guys familiar with Jeff Munson? Yeah.
Monster
so,
dude,
Jeff would straight up pull half guard bottom just to, like, scoot his way out of shit. But he had a bad back. So he would go for double underhook, but instead of passing and stacking and pressuring, he would just sit down and kick his legs to one side and scoot his feet up to the head and then just turn his hips over. And it's fucking unbelievable. It's so good.
Say that again?
Double underhook pass. Do a sit out to one side, 2 feet.
Okay.
And you want your feet like by the top of their head. So their butt cheek is kind of on your diaphragm. Then you just scissor your legs and you've passed the guard. He doesn't train gi. I do. So I was doing it double under. Like, I just don't like it. So I started using like a belt handle and I'd put my elbow in their crotch to block the re-guard and block the triangle. And I would just do it one-sided. And it was fantastic. Like, to this day, so it's been probably like 15 years, I've only had 2 people scramble out of it. It works really well. It's got a lot of really good follow-ups. I'm like, that's my shit. I did an entire Finland seminar tour based on teaching that. Right?
And are you saying like it's something that I created?
Yes! And after like 8 years...
Then start pass.
After like 8 years, I find this video in fucking black and white of this fucking old Japanese guy doing a near identical pass. He didn't have the follow-ups I had, but the pass was like 97% identical. And I was fucking heartbroken.
You want to know what's funny? Like, in the back of my mind, it's always like the same. It's like, it feels like it's the same video of these guys doing a demo. I feel like that's probably like 2 guys like faking that it's an old video and they're like recording this shit just to fuck with us.
It could be possible. A lot of Japanese houses are still old style.
There's just 2 guys.
Just doing it in black and white.
Some guy that's just really good at graphics. Like, you know, freaking Christian and his boys are over there. Like, let's do this video and fake. Like, it's a real deep fake, right?
Awesome.
You know, and it's just like those guys are like. They do jiu-jitsu at my gym, you know, on Mondays.
Bro, it just lends itself to the idea that no information is new information.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. I believe that. I mean, in the world of jiu-jitsu, you know, it feels like something. What is it like? You know, if you know your history, so you don't repeat it, right? You know.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it just feels like it's been out there.
It's in the ether somewhere.
There's. This like I mean, I guess all martial arts is worldwide, but like this jiu-jitsu takeover in the last 20 years, right? Maybe a little bit more. Has been like this worldwide phenomenon. You've got people coming from Australia, you know, you've got people from the UK, you got like, you know, look at what's happened in Austin and all these people coming, like that mecca of jiu-jitsu. Like, Google like Jiu-Jitsu Austin, Texas.
It's insane.
And it's just like red dot, you know, like it's just like the location. I mean, it's crazy. But I just think that, all of this stuff is probably, think about how many people are doing jiu-jitsu. You know, somebody has probably fell into that same movement like, 100%. Oh my God, I figured something.
Like, in a way, like no one taught it to me. I derived it. So did I invent it? Sure. But did it already exist somewhere? Definitely. Yeah.
It's in the ether somewhere.
Yeah,
it's
true. I never really got through our intro, which I love. Which I love. Homie? We haven't been doing we've been doing this like going like 30 minutes before we actually like read sponsor stuff.
I love that.
So don't forget to like, comment, save, share, click the subscribe button. We appreciate your support. We were about to introduce you. You are the owner of A M Jiu Jitsu in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
Is it right Power Line, right? For people that know
and 3H
Florida.
Property Services.
You are what's that? Is that commercial? It's like you're
It's
near
commercial
the
and
corner
Power
of
Line,
commercial and Power
right
Line,
near
right?
95.
Yeah, right.
Extreme Action Park.
Yeah.
Damn, bro,
Have
you on a job?
Have you guys?
I'm a good
so
mic guy.
you've done.
I know that.
You've done comment. So you know each other. You've done. Have you? You
Just
guys
through the
done combat
jiu-jitsu
nights?
MMA scene.
Hey,
We
Yes.
We
But
cross
have
paths a lot.
have you done a combat night where he's commentating? Do you know combat night?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
No,
Oh my
dude,
God, okay.
I haven't gone
Listen,
out.
a
I
lot
haven't
of
seen your
my-
fight. I haven't seen the fight side of your world yet. Because when I met you and have known you, it's just been all jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And since I've really
damn.
seen you, right? I mean, you came on, but we didn't really talk about like this whole MMA thing that you got going
Yeah.
on. Where I think you kind of took over the MMA program, right?
Yes.
Now you have that mat is yours, and that's your
Yes.
you do the MMA. So we didn't talk about that.
Okay.
So we're gonna get to that. Let me
sure.
do the reads, but I just wasn't sure if you guys knew each other through that. Your hair looks great, bro. So
I know.
it
Dude,
looks
the
phenomenal.
waves- the
I
waves are
saw you
crazy.
look. I just saw you look at it. He went this. He's like, "Yep, I'm still fly."
Yo,
and then
for
he
real,
looked
the
back.
lights put such a shine on the like we can't see it in person, but on the screen, bruh.
This is what I love about
Bruh.
Ben Stark. Anytime my guys go to fight, he always says something good about me and how they should show up and they're going to do great because they're coached by me and out of my gym.
Coaches don't get enough credit, bro.
Hey,
Do you
Ben is
do
the
you hear it
man.
after the fact? Or
Yeah,
you
because
can
when I
hear
go
it?
back and watch, I'm like, Ben is the man.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys knew each other. I wasn't sure if you guys.
We always
knew
have
each other,
mutual
knew each
respect
other.
for each other. And I think that's something that men kind of do subconsciously is like
Yeah.
you meet and it's like the first thing you're looking for is like, can I respect this man? And meet for whatever reason, every time me and Ben have spoken, it's just been like that. Just a lot of mutual respect. If somebody asks me about him, I say nothing but good things, and same thing for him. So it's been
So let me let you go first. I want to talk about fight tape. I don't know if you know about this fight tape, but he says he might have mentioned it to you in the past. But go
Yes.
ahead and tell everybody where they can find it. You want to give the backstory?
So I'm a professional cut man. I would like to say I'm one of the best in the world.
You are the 100 and
I'm number 140 in the International Cutman Association, run by Stitch Duran.
and what? How many members are there? 141.
142. Yeah, there's not that many of us. But I was working a ton of gigs, and I was burning through gauze and tape. And if you're buying in like pretty big quantity, it's $1.50 a roll. And like that means at the end of the day, some of these shows I've paid to work or almost just kind of broken even on my expense and shit. So I was like, well, there's got to be a better way, you know? So I started looking around the Alibabas and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can get this for a very reasonable price. And then I started comparing it to like the stuff I was buying in terms of quantity and quality. And this is like an upper end gauze, so like an Empire Pro Tape, a fight wrap, but I'm selling it for less than a Title Basic. And I'm still cutting a profit, which just tells you how high the prices on like a Title are. You know, Title charges $1.25 a roll for a $50, $60 for 50. I do $1 a piece. So like percentage wise, 20% less.
You sell on the website. You're selling them. You don't sell them individually. You're selling. What's your smallest box that you sell?
I'll sell you one, but it's $1.25 a piece.
Yeah, and the shipping
and you're just
is
gonna get it in a blow up bag. Here you go. Because my whole thing is part of what you're paying for is a flashy box and decals and designs. Basic sticker, basic package, basic shipping, save you 20% of your total cost.
Very cool.
So I'm pushing it. HammerJujitsuShop.com, FightTape.com coming soon.
Hey, just to reiterate,
Is it
a
.com or
conversation-
.us? That's
I haven't bought it yet.
Instagram. No, don't say that. You got to go home and buy it. You can't say that. Somebody's gonna buy it.
I got a week.
You got to buy it before
I
it
gotta buy
airs.
that.
I actually
No,
was buying it at the red light on my way here.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
that
not
in
put
the
that
car.
out.
Yeah.
Because we put that out, somebody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, Coach Ben, motherfucker." I remember that time.
I can think of like
you
4
need me in the
people.
balls.
Yeah, you guys really don't want to get in this low of an earning side business.
Yeah, man. Like hopefully you guys can.
Yeah.
work
So just
together on that. That'd be
to
awesome.
reiterate a conversation that we had. All right. I want to learn how to
100%.
wrap hands. Then we're gonna do a seminar at my gym.
My tape should be in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and as soon as that's in, I'm setting it up.
Yeah.
Because then I'll have everything I want to do.
So
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna do you guys one bit on top of that. So when you set that up, if you guys need like the promo like posts and stuff like that, I'll have my team do the post. We'll just throw like Academy Safe in the corner
Hell
or
yeah.
something like that.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
handle like a whole bunch of social media posts for everybody to post and collab and share. And
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You figure out how you're gonna get people there. We'll just do some designs for you.
Cool.
So just let
Love
me
it.
know when you have all the info, the date.
Mhm.
Obviously, I know where you are and everything. We'll put
Yes.
we'll put the post together like we've been doing it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
seminars. So we've been
Yes.
putting out.
That's
so
great.
just I'll help
Hell
out
yeah,
with
I
that.
appreciate it. And that's how you do it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, teamwork makes the dream work.
Right.
The jiu-jitsu community coming together to support the people in it that do not suck.
Got right. We were talking.
Yes.
We were talking with like Joshua, like the biggest, the richest people in the world, and like the big company. They don't look at each other as competitors. They look at what collaborations they can do. So
Obviously,
so.
yes.
What a gentleman.
Beautiful.
So shout out to our friends over at Flow and Roll. They are the producers of some of the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business.
Yes.
Visit them on Instagram at flow_n_roll. Check out the custom designs they've created for academies and competitors across the country. So we throw in the competitors to say, like, you need a kit for your fight, reach out. He can make you, your
They
rash
do
guard or
one-offs?
your shorts. Yeah, they do one-offs, so you can
awesome.
do anything. Yeah, so gym owners, you can stock up on your gis and no-gi kits at flowandroll.com today. Visit their website, flowandroll.com, and get 20% off your online orders with code JJD. So that's your individual stuff. And if you want to order in bulk, talk to them. They've got a really cool pre-order program that he can still do where very little out of pocket. Your stuff goes online. Your students can order from there. You don't have to worry about holding inventory. Great for like a new gym owner is like, I don't have any gear yet. And if I can give you $500 instead of $5,000 to get all my gear, how do I do that? You still get your profit. It's still like if you sold it to him, but he handles everything, takes the order, sells it to them. You get the profit, or you take that profit and you apply it towards your order. So it's a really cool program, especially for somebody that's just opening up and it's like, fuck, now I got to get my
This is the
gear.
program where he carries it on his website?
That's the pre-order program.
Okay.
So that's one. So again, he does the custom stuff, and you can just order a gi or a belt or whatever you want from his site.
Oh, so he'll
T-shirts.
hold your stock, basically.
A pre-order program would be just like if you were going to put out a shirt before you ever print anything. The designs are up.
Oh, okay.
Take the money in, then we go place the order, get that order in bulk so we get it cheaper. Here, this goes out to your students who've ordered online, and they'll usually get it in like a Flow and Roll bag and all that. They'll get some cool extra stuff. But then he says, but then this box is your gis, no gi, your tops, your rash guards, all your stuff that here's for you to stock in your. But the pre-order paid for that.
Yeah.
So you
I'm just
literally
saying,
put out a couple $100
Can
on
I buy
a
100
$10,000
kimonos and not have to shelf them? Can you send me 10 more? Can you send me 10? You know what I mean?
There's
space is
a
a
limit.
commodity.
Yeah, there's a limit. But then now, when you're ordering just 10, now
I'm saying
your
like
cost per
get 100 made and just send me 20 at a time.
You could probably do that, but that space.
That's what I'm
that
saying.
Space is there's
Like,
value in the real estate that's got to sit on.
100%.
Could you? You'd have to talk to him. I can't say whether or not you do it, but I know it's funny because I've had conversations. He's like, bro, there are boxes everywhere. He's like, I had a pallet. Dude. He's been like, I've had 2 pallets sitting in my driveway all day. I got to get them out of the driveway. I'm like, I hope they put them in like the garage if it's gonna rain, later in the day. So he's got some really good stuff going on. But this is the big one. This is the one you got to mention the podcast to get this special. Nobody else is mentioning this. This isn't anywhere else. If you order a minimum of 25 rash guards, the tops, right? People automatically hear rash guards. They think even shorts, right? They think like a kit. Just the tops, right? At least 25. He will give you 25% more for free. So
That's
think
awesome.
about it. If you ordered 100, you are getting 25 for free. You're getting 125 for the price of 100. Now, this is one thing that I also want to point out. Now, my relationship with him has grown over the years. Our business relationship has grown over the years. So he was giving stuff away, and then he became a paying sponsor. I forgot what I was going to say now.
Your relationship has blossomed wings.
So we we create posts for him. We don't handle all of his social media, but we create posts. So if you were to order, we create posts with the designs at some point after usually it's delivered. We create like, hey, check this out. A M Jiu Jitsu, your logo, and we do a whole bunch of those. And over the course of the year, now that's getting posted. So he's like giving a lot of love back to the gyms that are working with him. And then, we do some really cool designs of the kit, and we post it on his page. Then he collabs with us. So then he's got his, 16, 17,000 followers, and our 16,000 followers. Now it's, now it's 32, 35. So we do a lot of posting. So people like, forget about that. There's 25 free. When I tell people, I forget to tell them like, hey, and then he promotes you.
Yeah.
Like, there's value in him promoting you. There's value in us, like, because he's got a relationship with us, then we promote. We're doing the design. So we're yelling from the rooftop. For like, even like our sponsors, anybody that does anything with me, the Academy Safe too, like we're yelling from the rooftops once those guys get accredited, or if they're doing something with the podcast, we're trying to post as much, putting people together. Like they probably, like our sponsors get as much in like collabs and meeting people than they do in just orders for stuff. Like they've met people because like as soon as like Lahil is one of them, like, hey, people are mentioning in the podcast, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like we met this guy, So that stuff is cool. So when you're thinking about working with Flow and Roll, he's using my company, Black Belt Digital Marketing, to, as a sounding board for you guys, for the gym owners as well. So something that I hadn't really mentioned here. Leo Optics. I'm running low on sunglasses because I broke a pair. You got glasses. You got glasses.
Yeah. I took
No?
Luigi's glasses last time.
Oh, you took Luigi, but
And then
I didn't send you home. I didn't send you. I have no more.
Because you don't love me.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah, no.
Maybe our relationship will blossom.
Will blossom. Leo Optics is is the go-to brand for sunglasses and apparel featuring unique bamboo sunglasses. These right here, right? We always like to show, right? The little.
Oh, look, it has a black belt on it.
You can request your rank. I don't think anybody's ever requesting white, but blue to black, right? You'll get the stripe here or your belt color. All right.
Be nice if I had one.
Born in Southern California, their products embody the BJJ lifestyle that we all know and love. Visit leooptics.com and use code JJD for 10% off your order. And they are supporters of Academy Safe. Both Flow and Roll.
Gotta love it.
Lahil.
I gotta say, with those glasses, you look like the dad from Colors.
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 That
I
movie?
remember his name. I think so.
The dad from Colors?
I could be getting mixed up because, I'm not that old. I know I'm older than most of y'all. Oh, no, you're older than me, actually. There was like the Latino gang. He's a very good actor. He's an old man now. He still acts. He always had like a gray kind of thing in his beard. And when he played the Cholo, he had, similarly shaped glasses.
Are you talking about Jesus Christ, the guy?
I'm not talking about Jesus Christ.
No, not Jesus Christ.
No.
Yeah, he's in everything, but you don't know his
the guy
name.
Got like the acne scars. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No.
No, you don't see it with the white and the beard and the glasses.
Nope.
If I had like a shirt,
Come on, carnal.
on the top. Orale, vatos locos forever. Flow and Roll, Lahil, and Leo Optics they also sponsor or work with Academy Safe. So once again, like the relationships have grown and things overlap. Lahil Biogenics. Let's take off the sunglasses.
Sounds like polyamory. Lots of relationships.
You're a weirdo, man. I don't even know where that came from. So Lahil Biogenics, right? We've got the joint formula. Got this one's empty. I'm going to take this one home today. The alpha lipoic acid. Was it you that said somebody? Paul Geller.
Yeah.
Talked about. He said he talked to that guy that's talking to all the big rich people.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that changed Dana White's life.
Oh yeah.
Who's that guy? What's that guy?
I can tell you when you're gonna die.
What's his name? Gary Brecka told him like, hey. He asked me. He's like, hey, you taking this? Paul asked me if I was taking this. I said, yeah. He says, yeah. That guy, Gary Brecka, told him like to take.
Is that the guy who's spending millions of dollars to try and live forever?
No. I said, did you watch that documentary?
No.
Watch it. It's
I'm
interesting.
sure it is.
Very, very interesting.
That dude's weird. I know exactly who he's talking.
Yeah,
He's a little
that
weird.
guy feels like he's yeah.
He's very pale. Is that the guy?
I'm gonna say he's not all there, but I mean, I guess
Scientifically speaking, if you get 0.375 minutes of sun per day, that is the optimum amount of UV light to then ice. Yeah, he's like one of those guys.
Like one of those guys that want he he's like
biohacking.
They'll be like tanning their taint. Have you seen those guys that tan?
Is that?
Yeah,
I've done that my whole life.
They sun the booty hole.
I mean, UV rays will disinfect whatever. I
don't think it's about disinfecting.
Don't go look in Ben Stark's backyard.
Yeah, right.
Feet up in the air, butthole to the sun.
Hey. It's a natural eclipse. You know what I'm saying?
Again, Lahil Biogenics. They have 3 locations in Florida: Lakeland, Brandon, and South Tampa. I know that they've got another location opening, 4th location opening soon. We talked about it. We say you do not have to go to Mexico to get stem cells. I'm going up on April 5th with Bo. We're going to film my treatment. We got a little cocktail of, I believe, like peptides, stem cells, and what was the other thing?
NAD+.
Where?
Tampa.
I believe.
But here's my question. How are the tacos in Tampa?
I don't know.
Tacos in Mexico, let me tell you.
Fire.
I'm going up. I'm going to get a treatment. We're going to film it. They got a nice little program that they're going to do for me, so I'm really excited. So rolling every day is tough on the body, but pain doesn't have to hold you back. At Laheel Biogenics, they empower jiu-jitsu practitioners like us to recover faster, train harder, and achieve peak performance with the power of regenerative medicine. They're helping athletes stay on the mats and on top of their game. They're working with a lot of MMA guys. We had Robbie D'Onofrio on the show. They saw that episode. They were working with Robbie. They reached out to us, and it's blown up for them. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping that we can go. I have to talk to him. It's just, I wanted to go and come back the same day. There's a combat night on April 5th up in Orlando that you're going to commentate at, right?
Yes, sir.
And they asked us to go. So I was just like, oh, wow, that's just an extra long day now.
Amazing.
You should
To
just do
stay.
it.
If I have to stay, then it's me and Bo staying a day.
Come on, he likes to cuddle. He's a cuddler.
I love Bo to death. I've never slept in a room with Bo. Like, if I get one hotel room and it's me and Bo, I don't know if I get any sleep.
Okay, here, listen. There's ice people in Antarctica, and they're eating the brains of penguins. Now, here's what's happening.
Bo watches the whole show.
Oh, dude.
He has to cut
I've
it
smoked
together.
pot with Bo, okay?
He said that. That's like word for word. Something he probably said.
Dude, we were out, we were
We love you, Bo. We love you.
maybe
Just-
like
we
2
love you
hits
a
on a
lot.
joint. He's like, did I ever tell you about? And I'm like, I gotta go inside because this is gonna be a rabbit hole.
Well, we have to stay. I'm already nervous about the contact high in the car alone. Is
he driving?
No, but I'm going to drive us, and it's a 3-hour car ride.
Literally,
So
every
just tell him he
guest,
can't smoke in your car.
every guest that comes in after you guys is always like, "It smells like a grow house in here."
Yeah, they did last week. I heard them. It was the guy on the couch. Was he the guest with
He's
the
like,
dog?
It smells like a grow house.
That guy that was with the dog. That was
Yeah.
the guest. Okay, yeah.
On the couch.
It is very, very. It's a very, very powerful smell.
Tell him to stop being a prude
You've-
and be cool, bro.
I don't know that. You want to know something? I've known Bo all this time. I don't think I've ever smoked with Bo. Because I was always, this is work. I'm working. I gotta, if I smoke and then got
Joe
on.
Rogan smokes. You gonna be the Joe Rogan of jiu-jitsu or what, bro?
Not that. Not
I'll
the
do
smoking.
it. I'll be the Joe Rogan.
Like,
of
I-
jiu-jitsu.
all
Give
my-
me the opportunity, bro.
I smoked,
Do that
but I
shit.
would smoke and go to sleep. Like that's my.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fall asleep. It's bad because I already can't control it. It's hard to control my diet. So then I smoke and then I get hungry and I eat. Overdo it.
tastes
You know what'll
and
help
then
you
I-
with that? Let me tell you. GLP-1. That'll slow down your munchies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, anyway, let me get back to this. So if you're
how
not
long is
local,
that thing?
we're not
as
done,
long
man.
as his dick, bro.
Damn.
Nathan, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get through this read, but these two knuckleheads.
This is gonna be the most watched commercial ever.
Right?
If you're not local to Laheel, if you're not up in that Tampa area, no problem. Schedule a free telephone consult. The process is easy, and you can even get a same-day treatment. They are treating hundreds of professional amateur MMA, jiu-jitsu guys. They've truly become the go-to resource for fighters or the fighting community, really, when it comes to recovery and healing. If you call and make an appointment, mention the podcast, you get 20% off
That's a fantastic
your first visit.
amount off. That's really good.
Yeah.
20% is a chunk,
Yes.
man.
Yes, sir.
Added bonus: the gentleman who calls you has a very sultry voice.
Who's that?
The
yeah.
gentleman who-
I don't know if that. That's not. I don't think it's Nathan. I'm not sure. I don't know if anyone else. I've spoken to Nathan. Nathan, I'm sorry. I don't know if I would call Nathan's voice sultry.
Sultry.
So okay, let's check him out at Laheel.com, LEHEAL.com, and again, 20% off if you mention the podcast. I'm not going to talk about Academy Safe because we've talked about it so much already.
Yes.
So we'll leave
You're
it
very
there.
passionate
There you
about it.
go.
I love it.
The Academy Safe stuff.
Yes. Yes. As you should be. Because that's what we need. We need more men that is on their purpose, that are willing to defend these kids and their families, that's standing on business like the young kids say.
How could
and
you
I fucking love it.
100%? How could you be a parent and not be like overly supportive?
Yeah.
Like
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
well, I know. Like I'm just saying, like as in my case, like I want my kid to do gymnastics, but I want to be like, hey, do you have background checks on these coaches? Because we've already heard the horrible shit that happens in gymnastics or has previously in our own Olympic program.
Yeah.
So to think that it's not going to happen at John's Flip House is crazy.
Now, I've never heard of the gymnastics thing. Never.
Really?
Never.
Oh,
But I do want to ask this, right? And you guys have daughters.
Mhm.
Okay. Me personally, right? I'm a boy dad, so I don't know how
Took
it
the
would
easy
feel.
way.
I love having a boy.
What did you say?
I did take the easy way because I would get so stressed the fuck out. But guys, help me understand. Why is it that the gymnastics girls and the cheerleading girls, why do they wear such like revealing clothes?
Aerodynamics.
No.
I think just it's classical attire. Because it's the same as a ballet. Ballet wears a unitard leotard. Gymnastics unitard leotard. Swimsuits are not that much different. They just don't have the leggings.
So I'm gonna say now. This is a partial guess. Me and my sister were gymnasts growing up. I was actually a gymnast. From my school had a program from 5 till 5th grade. Our elementary school ended at 5th grade, and then when I was in 7th grade, they brought it into the junior high. So then I was able to do it again.
That's cool.
And then I went to a private facility for a couple of years. I wound up doing gymnastics, I think, till almost I was 16, maybe 15, 16.
That's why I have such slender
I
hips.
believe that really most of bastard. I believe it is more about not wearing anything loose fitting to get snagged. I think that's a big part of it. I can't say that's always been what it is.
Part of it is also like how they score because they want to see how clean your technique is, and if you have baggy clothes, you can kind of get lost. That's why ninja movies look so cool.
But even the guys, I mean, the guys don't have their balls hanging out, which I do look at it as as a guy when I was younger, be like, oh, look at these hot chicks, and then you become a dad, and you're like, hey, shit, and my daughter's here. I don't want her to think that that's what she's got to be wearing to be, to fit in, right?
Yeah.
But I do believe it's a little bit more about the clothing. I mean, we could probably look it up on ChatGPT.
So I trained a kid who was a ballerina and gymnast as well, and so they actually have a cup, like a ballerina's cup. He said classically, like back in the day, like in France, they used a piece of bread just to take away the definition of the crotch, and now it's like a cotton pad.
They put a thing. Yeah. For gymnastics, I believe it's a little bit more about the snagging of the clothes. Yeah, the form might be part of that, but the guys do wear, right? They're wearing tight fitting clothes. They wear, pants that are pretty almost like spandex,
Little
a little bit
sakis,
looser.
they got their saki PJs on.
I mean, there does come a point though when you're looking at it and being like, man, that's more revealing than a girl on the beach. So even though it's a one piece, like that, the way that it goes up their ass,
or the cheerleader girls that wear like the short ass shorts. Like, why is this 7-year-old? Like,
that one I can't explain. I just think it's culture. I just think it's like the girls want to be sexy. They want to be sexy.
No, fuck, sexy at what? 7? Get fucked.
No. I'm thinking teen. Like I'm thinking high school and like when you're up there, like the girls want to be. They want to be like. Let's go to college because I feel weird saying like high school and sexy. But
a girl I trained
college,
at 11 is now dating one of the trainers at the gym I lift at, and she's like 21, and it's fucking weird.
You trained her when she was 11?
Yeah, she did martial arts with us. Now she's like 21, and she's dating like a trainer at the gym I lift at, and so I see her, and I'm like, you're still such a child.
I'd be going, I'm that.
See,
man, I'm
green
old.
flag. Green flag, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's what that was, a green flag.
But right, you feel, I'd be like, man, I'm getting old.
Oh, God.
But look, this is the only reason why I brought that up is because I don't like to speak on anything that I really don't have experience with it. So I don't have a
we
daughter,
do. We love it.
Yeah.
right?
I'm actually really happy.
I'll commentate on anything that I have no clue about.
I mean, granted, we can look up on the internet. Well, yeah, I like that. That's cool too.
While you're
Right.
talking, I'm going to pay attention, but I'm going to ask Gemini, actually. Google's
I don't
AI.
like Gemini.
I'm going to ask.
I like ChatGPT better. But
I prefer a Virgo.
Hey, Gemini, why do female gymnasts and cheerleaders wear such tight and revealing clothing?
If Gemini's response is titties, it's going to be a problem.
yeah, but no, it
I'm
has
glad
to be
I
for
turned
the
it off before I heard you
aerodynamics.
say titties, because then it is.
It has to be for the aerodynamics and stuff. But I'm just saying specifically under like kids, right? Specifically kids, because with the internet age now and everything's being posted on social media, people are seeing these little girls in these short ass shorts, right? And it's like, why? I don't understand. Like, why would you want to subject your daughter to that? Because you got the weirdos on the internet that are looking at this shit.
Bro, my kid's
You
never
wanna
been
know,
on
like,
social media.
There's
never been a picture of her posted.
For the kids, you don't realize it. I can't ever remember my sister being like, oh, this she had to wear. We would do a show at the end of every year. Like it was like our gym class, and then it was our after school program for kids. There's usually not an after school sports program for elementary school, but we had that. So from the gym coach was a gymnastics coach. He had like 4 daughters. He coached them all, and our gym was completely set up for one full season with all of the equipment. The whole gym was taken up. When you went to gym class, you did gymnastics. So everybody was doing a form of it, and then if you were into it, you did no, it was just a regular school. That was the thing. It was just like this thing that they got approved because he was a gymnastics coach. He got it approved, and we did this. And then after school for that season, it was every day, just like you would go to soccer practice or football practice. I left my class, I went and got changed, and we didn't even have a locker room. Went on. It was the gym had the stage, so our gym was also the place where they would do put on productions and put all the seats in there. And you went up there, and all the guys changed on one side, girls changed behind the thing on the other side, and that was it. And we all changed right there. There wasn't even a locker room.
Like, I'm sure there's utility. I know that there's utility.
Here, this is the answer.
Look, there's utility, right? I understand that. But
why is it got to be cut halfway up your butt cheeks? Why can't it be cut below your butt? Why can't it be a boy short?
Why do they have to be 7-year-olds wearing that shit is what I'm asking.
But my my daughter was wearing at 7 was wearing a bikini that was probably a 2-piece that was to the beach and to the pool.
I don't understand that.
I get what you're saying.
Guess I'm just
it's a
the
bit
dad
too
in
much.
me. Look, maybe I'm getting old, right? But the dad in me wants to stop over sexualizing children. This is why I'm asking this question.
When that shit became popular, like when they started doing pageant moms and like all this other shit, and it really started coming. I was in college in my 20s going, that's fucking weird.
Thank you.
Like, why? Why does this kid have makeup, and why does a child wearing a bustier?
I think that's like a bridge too far for me.
But
like
it's the same thing
when they're putting makeup on the kids.
It's same with when I go to the beach and I see like a 4-year-old girl in a 2-piece. Why? That's going to be difficult to manage. She's going to get sand in all the places you don't want her getting sand.
As a girl dad, it never even occurred to me.
My daughter goes out my daughter's bathing suits are long sleeve, high neck.
Oh, yeah.
And it has a normal bottom, but it has like a skirt that covers like to the mid thigh. It's still cute.
Love that.
Yeah.
Like if nothing else, we're going to keep things cleaner.
Let me tell you why, and then I'm going to talk about that thing that I don't know if Drew's heard me talk about that statement that the Secret Service agent made that I talked about last time. So it says, the tight and sometimes revealing clothing worn by female gymnasts and cheerleaders serves several practical and historical purposes. I'm not going to read the bullet points, but freedom of movement, visibility for coaches and judges, safety. Basically, loose clothing provides a safety hazard, right? It could get snagged on something. In gymnastics, judges need to assess the athlete's form. That's what you said. And going back to freedom of movement, both gymnastics and cheerleaders involve complex dynamic movements. Tight-fitting clothing like leotards allow for full range of motion without any fabric hindering the athlete's performance. Loose clothing can get caught on equipment and impede crucial movement. So, we as guys, we were wearing shorts and T-shirts and working on all of the same equipment as the girls and some other pieces that girls don't work on. Yeah, so, like the pommel horse and the even bars.
So, or the
parallel bars.
As a dad looking at it, like when we look at like some of the women who box in the Olympics or represent some of the stand countries, they still wear their hijab and they wear like tights, but they're wearing like a Spider-Man bodysuit. Like it's just a solid color. Yeah. Is that what you're like thinking is like a more appropriate option? So you can still be form-fitting and set, but we don't have to have a cut up to half your butt crack. Like, I don't want my daughter wearing cheekies. Yeah. I want my wife wearing cheekies.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but even like you want your wife wearing that, right? Even in my academy, when I see the girls wearing shorts,
it blows my fucking mind.
I fucking hate it because we're here to train. Okay, so okay, hold on. Are boys allowed to wear spats and or valley shorts? Every time I see that, like if I see it, I'm like,
you gotta have
put
a cup
some
on.
Fucking shorts on.
You either gotta have a cup on or you gotta wear shorts.
Craig Jones has a rule where it's like you need like a three layer barrier, right? Because I don't want to see your fucking balls either.
Seriously,
I don't. So like underwear or a jock. Spats and then shorts.
Look, listen. I shouldn't be able to make out your dickhead through your shorts.
Just
stop wearing the spats only. Dudes,
that's just
put on some shorts.
If you want to compete in that because you're more okay, cool. But like this is your day to day.
I mostly do gi. I actually wear 2 pairs of underwear, usually like a Reebok sport underwear, because
it has the ball.
One
holster.
is a little bit loose, like putting 2 kind of keeps me.
That just sounds like hot balls.
And no, because they're like the really thin, almost like a rash guard material.
Yeah.
No, like they're made for they're breathable. They're breathable. But I wear 2 of those, and then I just put my gi pants on. But for me, it's like holding. One is just like stuff's still a little loose. I put 2 on, and it's just like that guy's not going anywhere. And you don't want to wear a cup when you're doing jiu-jitsu.
So for a long time, I use like a tie cup. It's a steel cup with a leather edge and a rope.
Hell yeah.
And like it's the best. I took a
Rogan's
walk
talked about that a lot.
bro.
Like that's the best one.
I took
but
a
nobody
walk
uses it.
knee to the balls in a stadium in Phuket and hit the floor out of shock. It was like, I'm good. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Nice.
And seriously,
But what is the difference between that and the cup? That it's like Rogan's always talking about how that
It's
it
made of
protects them.
fucking steel. It's 5 pounds of steel.
But what's the difference between? I mean, isn't it the fit? Because like a regular cup is like
So
when you
I
get hit
think-
in the cup, it pushes to your balls.
Okay,
It's
so
not really doing like
so
a great job.
You have like a jock strap, like when we played baseball with these kids.
Yeah, you put the cup
Those
inside of it.
elastics are done in 2, 3, 4 games
Mm.
of you running hard. You know, this is a rope, and you tie it around your waist, snug it up as much as you want. You put it up your butt like a thong, and hook loop it on the back. And
you have to get somebody to help you with that. Is
no,
that somebody else?
it's a tuck
Can you?
and pull. It's pretty
yeah.
easy. I would say, like, from my experience, by the time you're done a round or two of warm up, the ropes are now sweaty. They loosen. You give it a retie, and you're gold. It like locks into your body. Jocks kind of they fumble around because the elastics shit.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
fuck with the elastics.
Christian does some stand up.
Why don't
What do
you
you
have
wear?
a camera?
What do you wear? You put your mic on.
Typically, I wear
Free ball?
multiple layers. Yeah, like
But cup
Compression
wise,
shorts.
what do you
Oh,
do? You use a cup?
cup-wise?
Do you just use like the standard, like the regular
yeah.
cup that guys are using for baseball? You know.
no, I got
No?
like an actual I think it's like a Venom cup. I don't know, one of those cups.
Have
But
you
yeah,
ever tried those steel ones that he's talking about, like the old school?
I think
Muay Thai?
mine is metal.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
they
yeah.
serve a multiple.
Yeah.
If you attack me, I can hit you with it. And cave your skull. It's like one of those things from David and Goliath.
Yeah. So I want to going back to what you were saying though. Like you were like, am I just getting older? Yeah, you're getting older.
You don't have any gray hair
Your
though.
world
and those
vision-
waves are fire.
You
You
your
gotta love him.
your worldview is changing. You know, I see it in myself. Like
You're
certain things are
turning
just
into a
like
Republican.
it's like
And you
it's
know
too
something?
much. It's
I
too like
heard
these things
this.
that are going on are too much. Like some of the
Yeah.
things that happen is just like really. I mean, I can meet you here, but that far, like
Yeah.
there's just certain things. It's like I can't believe this. It's just
Well, I saw this quote on Instagram, and it said, "If you're not liberal in your 20s, you have no heart. But if you're not conservative in your 30s, you have no brain."
I heard the same thing about 40s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the story of my life, right?
Dude,
That
seriously,
right
I'm feeling that. I was a hyper liberal my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in reality, I guess libertarian. Like, what you do with
Yes.
your life is great. I
Yes.
don't care until it starts affecting things that affect me, kind of thing. But I think that's a typical, hey, I'm 40, I'm a dad, I work,
yeah.
I put food on the
Yeah.
table, just leave me alone, kind of thing.
Yeah. So let me just give you some background, right? Because I don't think I've ever got like too personal on this podcast. But
You're not gonna take your clothes off or something.
no,
Okay.
that's later, bro. Buy me a couple drinks first, you fucking animal. No, but I come from a Caribbean family, right? My parents come from the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua. We are not Hispanic. We're descendant from like, we're more closer to the Jamaicans than we are Nicaraguans.
Well, that was like those islands were settled by slaves, right? When they were freed, like right of the
Brief
coast,
history.
like Ghana or Guinea, New Guinea, and
no,
like those.
Guinea, Ghana, but I don't know where the slaves came
Not
from.
Ghana, Ghana's
Apparently,
a-
23andMe says they all come from Nigeria, which is I think is total bullshit. But whatever. Basically, ships. There was indigenous people on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, Panama, and Honduras, I believe. But the main one was Nicaragua, and ships crashed. Slave ships crashed. Africans come to the shore. Everybody has a big orgy. Out comes all of these tribes, and and a lot of the people end up looking like me.
Okay.
Okay,
This sounds like a party I'd like to go to.
right? And
Christian,
one of
your parties are like here? Hell yeah.
Send the invite.
if you would have told me, I would have been to more. of
Send
these parties.
location.
These
Send
podcast
location.
parties.
I got my never mind.
Okay, so look, one of the tribes that was there were the Mosquitoes, right? And the Mosquitoes, they had two type of mosquitoes: the Mosquitoes and the Mosquito Sumo.
I'm trying not to make a mosquitoes joke.
I was gonna just say, now I'm feeling like this is like a joke. Like
It was
two
gonna
guys,
do with, like,
two guys walk
slapping
into a
and
bar
like,
joke.
hey.
It's like, bro, this is what you're gonna get when you come here now. Now there's
Nah,
two.
I understand. You motherfuckers can't even get a damn story
The
out.
the mosquito tribe.
But actually,
it sounds like you're saying mosquito.
and the British ended up calling us mosquitoes, but it's really the mosquito, Miskito. Anyways, I grew up my entire life, right, confused because they asked me where I'm from, and I'm like, oh, I'm from Nicaragua, right? I try to say it the most Hispanic way possible. But my uncle was a Rasta. My dad sounds like a Jamaican. My mom, you kind of hear her accent. The only reason why she speaks Spanish is because she grew up in the capital. My dad, the only reason why he spoke Spanish is because he went to jail in Nicaragua. So it's like, right? But if you go to
Who says you
Bluefields,
can't
Corn
learn
Island,
and get rehabilitated? Huh?
exactly. If you go to Bluefields or Corn Island or Pearl Lagoon, all these places on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, they speak English. They sound like Jamaicans. Okay?
Yeah.
So going back to the history, when the ships crashed, giant orgies, fucking all these people mixed together, all right, the British made contact with my ancestors, okay? And they were like, damn, you guys are good at hunting. You guys are good at tracking. You guys are good at fighting.
And look at your waves.
Exactly, bro. See the fucking waves.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
Don't get lost in the ocean.
That's right. So what happened is that the British would appoint people from Jamaica to be kings, right?
Hear him out.
Yeah. And if you trace my lineage, my grandfather, which is my dad's dad, was supposed to be the actual last king of the Mosquito Coast.
Oh, really?
And one of my ancestors, Robert Henry Clarence, he was like the last official king, but then the British told the Spanish they could do whatever the fuck they want with the land because they pulled out. Mind you, the reason why we are not Hispanic is because the Spanish never officially beat us in any fucking battles to take over us.
Okay.
We kept kicking their ass with the British support.
Did you know about all this all your life? Or did you?
No,
learn
bro. I
about
had
this
to go look
you
because
had
I
to
was
look at
fucking
this?
confused.
No one
my
knows all
entire
this kind
life.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to.
So
because-
was this the island region where Chiquita owned the banana farms and were running like a weird
Yes.
cult banana farm
yes.
thing? Okay.
Yes, because we had good soil because of the volcanoes.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah,
Chiquita
I'm
is
surprised
a
you know about
terrorist
that.
organization. I listen to
They
a lot
are.
of weird podcasts.
yeah, they're definitely.
Are you like these islands?
Where are you? Are
That's
you in
Nicaragua.
Go look at Corn Island. It's down here.
Man, that's not a map. That's just your OnlyFans.
Hold on, those are your toes.
Corn Islands.
Uncle Milty, BJJ
Corn
on
Islands?
OnlyFans.
Yeah, so
Check
even on
him
the
out,
Spanish
ladies
map-
and gentlemen.
Even on the Spanish map, it says Corn Island. It don't even say Isla de Maíz unless they fucking updated it. So, look, the reason why I feel so passionate about it is because, like I said, I grew up confused, but I also, when I learned that the actual mainland Nicaraguans don't really care for us, they just call us los negros de la costa, which means them niggas on the coast.
That's fucking crazy.
Right.
That's not a literal translation, but I understand.
But that's what they
That's
mean.
what they mean. But like Spanish people still, like I mean, in Puerto Rico they still say it like negra,
No,
like it's a
I
term of
understand that.
endearment.
I mean,
like
But it's
a
not-
white,
there's
my
not a
white
term.
aunt would
Now-
call all her white friends like negra. Ven
But it's
aquí,
like
you
calling
know?
somebody gordo, right? It's not literally an
Yeah,
insult.
yeah.
But
Dude, I was called negrito for like years. And I'm like, that doesn't work at all.
it's more like honey,
I guess.
right?
Oh.
Negrito? But anyways, it's not a term of endearment
No,
when
I
it
know.
comes from that. 'cause
But
they
I'm
look
just saying
down
that
on
it
us.
wasn't a literal translation.
No, I
just
know,
so-
but it was a figurative fucking
I get it, you know,
translation.
It
wasn't
sounds really good.
Yeah, it sounds
they
cool.
didn't
It
love
sounds
you.
cool when I say it.
Okay.
You put a little on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. No, I forgot where the fuck I was going.
So you're saying they called you
these
this,
individuals
they
on
didn't
the
like
coast.
you, and they
yes.
The individuals on the coast is what you were called by the inlanders.
Yeah. Yeah. So the only reason why the actual mainland Nicaraguans, so the Spaniards, that's what we call them. The only reason why the Spaniards like the coast now is because the Canadians and a bunch of Europeans took a liking to the coast and started doing like scuba diving and all this other shit there. So now they call it Nicaribe, and now they're like proud to have these islands. When as before they didn't give a fuck,
no.
right? So
Where there's money, there's acceptance.
of course,
But you know, I'm not gonna disagree with that statement at all.
Mhm.
But I do believe in the kind of like you kind of start to breed out the bad people. Like, you know, we just gotten older, and like the younger
Hopefully.
people, you know, usually
Well,
there's more
yeah.
mixing of cultures, and people just become okay with it. And
But
it's,
you
it's not
also
to say
see-
that everything the way they treated them was good, or you know, that it wasn't bad. But we grow up and you kind of we're so integrated. Like I remember in school like learning about, it was literally a term called the browning of America. Like we're integrating black, white, Hispanic, and like in 50 years, like this is going to be the color of the average person because we've just integrated with Asian, black, Caribbean, right? So so I'm just saying, like
Brazil is a great example.
You breed out the bad shit, and we wind up looking a little bit more like each other. I do believe, not to get political, but like even in this country, I'm like, not that there isn't racism in every corner of the world, but what I start to see kind of in my life, I think, is a little bit more of like the class gap. Like you could have like black and white people up here that are super bougie and not racist, but like look down on these same people that look like them that have less money.
Racism is a tool of the class.
It's becoming like a little bit more classism, where you have a mix of people who are equally shitty to these people down here. I mean, I grew up in a place where I was the only dark kid my whole life. It was one of the reasons why I loved getting out of Long Island, where I was just always the dark kid in the room. And when I came down to Florida, I was just like, holy shit, there are people that look like me, and just because he's driving a BMW doesn't mean he's a drug dealer, right? Like, so like I got out of that.
That's not necessarily true.
I'm just saying where I came from, I see it, like, especially where I used to live after I got married, was like, it was just like Jewish family, white family, Indian family, Hispanic family. Like, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful to see all of these people, nice cars, good career. Like, there was this mix, right? Right on the other side of the lake was like Section 8 housing, but the same thing. It was white, it was black, it was Hispanic. It was like a mirror image, but it was more class. Mm-hmm. Like there's a class, the money. What do you call it? Like a money gap? Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm not making a comment on that racism is gone, but I do see that there are people of different colors being mean to people who have less money of the same color. And
okay, so this is what it is. The racism itself is a tool of the elite. Because racism is constructed. It's not the only true form of racism, right? And I'm sure I'm going to get flack for this, but I don't give a fuck. The
Nobody listens
only
to this.
True form of racism is institutionalized racism, right? Environmental racism. It's like systems that get put into place around people around the same color that affect them to this day. So one example of that is in Fort Lauderdale. If you go down 31st, you'll see a giant trash dump, okay? There's a lake in the back of this trash dump, and if you go into that neighborhood and you try to go into somebody's backyard that's bordering the lake, you will see, warning, do not trespass. Like, they can't even go to the lake that's in their backyard. Now, if you look at the history of this specific spot, and you can ask the old people that are there to this day, right, about that lake, they would say, because I went there before and I talked to some old guy. He's like, man, there was some big fish in this lake, and that whole community used to fish in that lake. And what happened is they built the dump there, and they purposely let all of the environmental contaminants go into that lake to the point where it's completely poisoned now. And what that ended up doing is it ended up getting into the groundwater, and people in that specific spot had higher cancer rates. And every time somebody tries to say something about it, they always get shut up. All right, so it's things like that that are put into place that are truly racist, because in that part of Fort Lauderdale, there's majority black people. Yeah. Okay. If you look at Fred Hampton, right? Are you guys familiar with Fred Hampton?
No. Fred Hampton, he was in jail for...
No.
Fred Hampton. Who am I thinking of?
Black Panther.
I'm going back to the Black Panthers.
Yeah. Okay. He was a Black Panther. He was the chairman of the Black Panther Party when he was 21 years old. This man could speak like Obama. Like, he could speak and move the masses. Okay, and his thing was like, hey, we need to stop fighting over racism, right? Because really, there's only one thing that matters. It's class. He's like, you have people in this class that want to dominate people in this class, right? It's the upper versus the lower. It's the have versus the have-nots. And he's like, they give us racism to confuse us, to get us fighting, right? But in actuality, it's just the people that have it trying to just get the people that don't have to just get against each other, because we have the numbers. Mm-hmm. We have the numbers. This
is like a French Revolution reference when the lower class overtook, and I guess cooed or just overtook the upper class. Yeah.
The lower class always has the numbers. So the upper class has to get people fighting with each other. So they just throw racism at us. So what Fred Hampton ended up doing is he went to all the poor people of all the colors. He went to the Puerto Ricans, the whites, the poor whites, the blacks. Like, he went to all these people and he started bringing them together. And he's just like, guys, it's not about racism. It's about class. And he started to combine these people, right? And these people started to work together. Okay. Now, the program that was the FBI program called COINTELPRO that is declassified. If you want to go look at those documents, please go look at them, right? They were trying to stop the rising of a black messiah, meaning the one that was going to come with the big mouth that was going to unite the people, right? It's all well and known that Malcolm X assassinated, MLK assassinated, JFK assassinated. JFK wasn't black, but, you know, he was assassinated because they don't want somebody in power that's going to unite people, because the 98% are the true ones with the power, because we have the numbers. Hence, why back in, like, what was it? When did Trayvon Martin happen? When did that?
That's more than 10 years ago now, right? Almost
It was like
20?
2014, 2013.
Something like that. I think it was right around when I got
least-
back to the States.
2012, right? So think about what was going on prior to that, right? The Occupy movements. Let's occupy Wall Street. It's all about the 98%. Everybody started to come together of all colors. And what they do? They threw Trayvon Martin at us.
Yeah.
Right? They threw that story at us. And what did that do? It resurrected racism. That started this snowball effect of, oh, look at all these police shootings. Look at all. And guys, the media is such bullshit, because you know how I figured that out? When I was in Iraq, right? We had just drove through Baghdad, and then we get to the safe zone, which is the green zone, which is, I forgot what base it was, but it was the green zone, right? Nothing going on in the green zone, right? So we went through Baghdad, went to the green zone. I'm eating in the chow hall, and all of a sudden you see breaking news. 5 car bombs went off in Iraq and Baghdad, and the city's in fucking shambles and this and that. And I was like,
I'm here right now. That's not happening.
yeah, the city
here.
isn't.
Did you
that
see those
big.
guys that recently, right when was it during the election? There were a bunch of guys like watching the debates, and what's her face said, "We're not in any active
Yeah.
war zones," and the
These
guy,
guys like-
they're recording themselves going,
Yes, I did.
"What?
see that.
Remember that?"
Yes, because the media is total
They were
bullshit.
like, "What? What?" It was like out that night on the internet, and they're
Yeah.
like, "We are
Man, I
in
was-
a war zone."
I was coaching in Colorado Springs near Fort Carson, and I had a ton of Army guys. Like, it was weird. My gym was the Army gym, the Air Force gym was the other side of town, the Marine gym was the other side of town.
Rah.
Either way. And these guys were telling me about shit like that. Like, yo, I saw footage from a mission I ran being used on news presently that I did 3 years ago, talking about some shit that happened today.
And I recently saw a reel on Instagram, like a dude saying just that. And he was in the VA when it happened, and he went straight to mental health. Like, I'm going fucking crazy because of that same reason, right? So the media,
The movie that you were I knew I had just seen the movie. You said Fred Hampton, and I'm like, I know that reference.
Jesus,
And Judas and the
Judas
Messiah.
and the Black Messiah.
And is it Judas and the Black Messiah?
Yeah, that's the name of it. Judas and the Black Messiah.
That's where I remember seeing it. I know I can't how like historically accurate all the information is, but that's where I remember the name from.
Yeah, and when Fred Hampton, like, he started bringing the people together, the police raided his house at like 1 a.m. and 99 shots went into that house, and only one came out because they shot his bodyguard in the heart, and he went like this and shot the roof. All right, but he got murdered in front of his pregnant wife. Why?
You can't be talking
Shut
that
him up.
much.
Yeah, you can't be talking that fucking much.
Yeah.
All right, so I forgot how we like veered off to
Well,
all.
we
of
I
this.
just want to know what the food was like where you're from. 'Cause
So,
Jamaican
by
Nicaraguan
the
sounds
way,
amazing.
so I was when I looked up the Corn Islands, and then there was like another island like to the north,
San Andres?
north and east, and that one says it's in Isla Pequeña del Maíz. So it's corn. That's like
Little
maíz is corn,
island.
right? So, but I'm just saying that other one, it's corn. Like this
Yeah,
one was.
because
I'm
the
just saying there was.
Spaniards want to make it sound.
This one was
Spanish.
the Spanish version. This one says it in English. You know.
Yeah, it says the Spaniards. You know what they do on that island? They just fucking put their resorts, and they don't give a fuck about the people. They
Of
put their
course. You know
resorts,
what?
and you know what I mean? Like,
Capitalism.
and
What
hurrah!
do we think about? I'm gonna zoom out. This will be the first time I'll
So
see it.
do you speak Spanish?
Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico?
oh, Gulf of America.
America.
Yeah, I think it's all a fucking
I've
joke.
never thought about it.
It's
ever.
it's
I
the
don't
first
give-
time
I
I'm seeing
really
it.
don't care.
It's the first time
Oh,
I'm
is it
pulling up a
on
map.
Google
Yeah.
Maps?
It's yeah.
I think it's cool. It's
Gulf
funny.
of America. I just think they're gonna wind up just putting it back when
you speak
Trump's out of
Patois?
office.
Yeah.
Cool.
I could speak
Patois is
that.
the coolest sounding language ever.
That
don't
is that
Jamaican. You don't know.
Yes,
You're
sir.
Manao.
Yes, sir.
you're just a world traveler, huh?
I
Or you
try.
just know those little parts.
So I had a friend who worked at Grand Prix Racerama or Boomers back in the day.
Nah,
so like I
Grand
would roll
Prix.
up, yeah.
The one in Boca here?
No, the one in Del Rey.
Oh, Del Rey. Okay.
The
Del Rey?
old one,
Oh, I
yeah.
went to
Or
the
not,
one in
sorry.
Hollywood. Sheridan Street.
Yeah, that one.
Or Sterling.
Did I say Del
Sterling.
Rey?
'Cause Boomers,
Yeah.
my
Sorry.
Boomers is still here. Boomers.
Yeah.
My
So
buddy he
Boomers
runs the food
bought
there. He
Grand
runs the food
Prix.
concessions.
Yeah,
Grand Prix was like this
with
old
the
school
wooden
spot. Then they
fucking
built
roller
another
coaster.
one.
Yeah.
But I had a friend who worked there, so I would show up. He would open the slot machines and fill a large popcorn bucket with tokens and be like, "All right, I'm out," and he'd get off work, and I would just hang out and play games till I realized
He
I
would
can get
play- he
tickets
would-
and get an Xbox. But I would just I would just hang out. Anyone who was next to me, if you were cool on a game, I would just pay for your next games. I got a large popcorn bucket of tokens.
Hell yeah.
And so I just met all these Haitian kids, Jamaican kids, and they would just teach me little quips, and we'd end up hanging out enough that I could just imitate them.
No, it's cool living.
I thought it was going to be more of a fight related
When I was a kid.
martial arts.
To be honest, I've done voices so long, I'm not sure if this is my natural voice.
You're like an actor.
You do.
Kinda.
He does. I've the Brazilian, the Russian stuff is hilarious. You just did this.
Booyakasha.
You did that.
That's more of an Ali G than a Jamaican.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about jiu-jitsu at all today.
But that's what happens on a mat chat, right? On a mat chat, we're not ever like talking about jujitsu. You talk about your
You
life
wanna-
problems after a fucking
You
want
want to know? Like I know you were there for at least one or two of them. You know, because Kenny used to have. I think he did free jiu-jitsu for veterans,
Yeah.
right? There were. I remember more than once that I went to class and we're like stretching, and some of the guys from his because he had like a PTSD group that he went to.
Mhm.
I don't know if you were
That's
part of
where I
that
met
group.
him.
He like some of
It
those
was
guys
like-
would come
yeah.
in and we would sit and start talking and then it would be like 2 hours later and all we did was just talk and these guys were venting. Sometimes the guys would come in with like liquor on their breath and you can tell, and I think he picked up on that and was just like, they need to talk.
Yeah.
They need to jiu-jitsu, but I'm going to do the jiu-jitsu when they're ready to, like,
Yeah.
they have something to get out. And it was a therapy session and I was part of that. And I remember one of those times, maybe it wasn't the 2 hours, but that's when it always stuck in my head where you told a story of like, I think you had like, you were in a Humvee and like you
I was
were
a gunner.
going to fire or you had like a sight on something and then like you were
Yeah,
going to
girl and
fire
her
and then your buddy, all of a sudden like your buddy's Humvee was in front of you and you're like on him and you could have shot him. Am I?
Yeah, 'cause there was
Ballpark?
a girl with her.
That
with her
story,
daughter.
that story sits in the back
Yeah.
of my head about, because back then you were like militant with like, we shouldn't have been there, right? We were there for the wrong
I'm
reasons.
still militant
Yeah.
about we shouldn't have been there,
Yeah.
but it's more so that I was really upset back then. That
And to be specific, it was the second Gulf War.
well, yeah, I mean, I'm
Well,
not
he ain't
old.
that
Well,
old,
no,
bro.
I mean, no, because people,
How old are
people
you
listen
now?
on the podcast. They don't,
38.
bro, because people that don't know you're listening just to
Yeah.
sound, they're not seeing the video. So I want
So-
to give it some context.
So-
If you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
watching the video,
I mean,
you
he
should.
look-
Look
he
at
looks like-
those waves just crashing into the beaches.
Drew,
Beautiful.
I
crested
didn't say
waves.
Vietnam. I didn't say that.
Vietnam.
Back in the Korean, when you were in the Korean War.
Yeah.
But I just wanted for
Let me
context.
tell you, Sean. There I was.
Yeah.
No shit. There I was.
in the shit.
Hey, but just to say, like, all war is bullshit. I have yet to have studied a war and seen that it was for an actual purpose, starting with Vietnam. It's like you stay there for 30 years and you just realize that, oh shit, this was just for a profit. That's it. And to have friends that you fight with and you survive, which strengthens your bond, but then they come back home and they kill themselves, is just like, what the fuck? So that's why I was so angry at that point in my life, which is why, I did my thing with the combat hippies and I was like fucking doing spoken
that's
word
right,
poetry. And like, because when you do spoken word on a stage, you are able to, it's like a comedian, right? With art, like you can push certain boundaries. And because people are there for entertainment, but like how Dave Chappelle does it so masterfully, you can insert messages that you need to with a little bit of sugar. You know what I mean? Like sugar helps the medicine go down. So entertainment helps drive points home. But yeah, I used to be on that stage fucking screaming or putting words in a way to get you to think, because I was so fucking angry that I've had more friends die home than they did at war.
Tell them a little bit about what Combat Hippies was. You don't? No? Okay. You know,
if you guys want to go look it up, just look up
yeah.
Dru Phoenix and Combat Hippies, and you'll see like a whole shit. I don't want to go like too much into that, but because that's like you ever start talking about an old version of yourself and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
I have that battle every day. You know, like something stupid I did, but I do think about those moments. Like I had to do that for me to be me and doing right where I am right now.
Do you
the butterfly effect.
Do you ever wake up?
Change one thing and you would be sitting here right now. You'd be someplace else if you're
I think
lucky.
about that with like a lot of my more shitty experiences. I'm like, well, I'm in a pretty good spot. I can't complain too much. But I do wake up occasionally just with like some, oh man, I did that thing in high school and I was embarrassed. Fuck. And then I'm just awake for 30 minutes.
It's not that I'm embarrassed of it. I guess I'll just talk about it because we're on the subject. I guess the one thing I didn't like about that time is that when you're constantly around people or talking about, killing yourself, right? Sometimes when life gets really fucking stressful, you start thinking about it. You just like, it kind of becomes an option, right? So I don't really like to open that can of worms because it's just like, with my kid, it's like there is no option.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it was truly a dark time for me, but also I know that we did good work because basically what happened with the Combat Hippies is it was this guy named Teo. Actually, let me back up even before that. When I was young, I used to draw a lot. And then when I was in like 8th grade, my father had left. He went Nicaragua, started a new family. He left. Okay. The way that I used to deal with my anger at that time was by writing. For some reason, me constructing words on a page made me feel better. So that's how I dealt with it. I just used to just write about it. I had this little journal I called the Book of Soul, and I just used to just write in there all the time, right? Angry kid who hated their father. I mean, every fucking 14, 15, 16-year-old hates their dad. Right? I'm really dreading that day when my kid fucking finds some reason
It doesn't have to be the case. I'm now meeting teenagers who get along with their parents. They have good relationships. That's what I'm striving for.
As an adult, I had a strained relationship with my dad.
Yeah.
Even now, it's better now, but we think so different politically, even though I'm like moving to the center more and more, that was a strain. Like yelling matches, cursing, like mostly for me, but which I regret. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna there's gonna come a point where, that masculine energy is just like, I remember my father hit me over the head, and I wasn't like a beaten child. Hit me over the head with this huge mug, plastic mug, and it said, "I have a drinking problem. I have 2 hands and only 1 mouth." And I used to use it to throw change in. And I was going out with my friends all the time, drinking, sleeping late. And it was like the weekend. My job was to cut the lawn. I didn't get up. My dad took that, dumped out the change. He filled it with water, not all the way to the top. And he threw it on me in the bed. And then he threw it at me. And it cracked on my head. And I got up in my bed and I just started pounding on the wall. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I'm in their house too. But I'm an adult. And I'm like banging against the wall. And he was just like, holy shit. That was the first time like I ever... Damn. I'm laying in bed though that I was just like, it was like a listen motherfucker moment. Like we're 2 men here now, still a kid. And then we wound up talking in the kitchen. Like he apologized to me and I told him, I looked him right in the face and I was like, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a grown man. You're not going to fucking hit me, And it wasn't like I wasn't a beaten child. He didn't lay his hands on me.
How old were you?
I was probably in my early 20s. I mean, I was like back from college. I don't think I was a dad yet, but I mean, I was a dad by 20. So this is like around that time.
You were a dad at 20?
Yeah, man. I went away to college, came
That would
home,
have derailed
didn't
my
go
entire
back.
existence.
Well, now she runs my company for me, so she's amazing. She's
Put her to work.
But right.
Listen, I didn't get to party.
I couldn't.
So
I had
you
to
gotta work.
I had to create a good employee. But anyway, like I think there's a point in every man's life that it's what level it's going to be where the son is going to challenge the dad. But I see you with your son. I don't see you. I see what you post. And just keep on. If that's the way you are with him there, and that's the way you are with him in private, you're teaching him how to be a man. You're also you're teaching him how to be a loving child. Because you're showing him how to be a loving dad. My dad didn't have his dad around. Died when he was a kid. My mother had a really bad dad. He beat all the kids. So like my parents didn't have like a good male role model, but my dad especially didn't. Like he learned this on the job. So I always think back to that. But I think there's always a point where there's going to be potentially a clash, even if it's just not that big of a deal. But there will be a version of that clash. Like, you know what? He's a man now. Holy shit. And I got to let him be a man, and he's got to find his own way. And telling him what to do.
But can he whoop me? That's the question.
My dad, my plan for my life from when I was 19 and I started taking the PD tests in New York, taking the police department tests in New York City. He wanted me to, it was my dad wanted me to, he's like, go into civil service. My dad was retired by 45. We were just talking about this. My dad put in 23 years. He was retired by the time he was 45. And he's worked some jobs, but he's lived off his pension, lives a really good life. They live a very good life. And he hasn't worked 30. He just turned 80. He has not worked for, really, truly worked for 35. I'd say from 50, so maybe 30 years. He hasn't really worked, and he loves it. His job is taking care of the house. You look at you go to my parents' house. That house is 20 years old right now. It looks like the model that they would show. Everything looks brand new. There is not fucking one thing out of place.
He
but
just
that's
looks
his
at
job.
His lawn, just look at that.
He'd be out there with the scissors. Let me cut that right there. Doesn't look perfect. That's my dad. But that's been his job. So, but again, going back. I mean, I challenged him. I got thrown out of the house. Came back in. I was. Just. He didn't know how to raise a young man. He learned on the job. But I mean, so many people do. Yeah. But there will come a point. It's just a matter of when is that going to be and how hard are you going to push back?
Well, see, I'm referencing something that I've heard throughout the years. And it said first, when it comes to father-son relationships, first they demonize you. No, first they idolize, then they demonize.
Sure.
Then they humanize.
I
see
that's really fucking accurate.
I think I just did all that. Did I not just do all that, right?
Yeah, no. So when I say that he's gonna find some reason to hate me, I think that's just the masculine just trying to mature in him. That's him trying to be a man. So when you say how much am I gonna push back, I'm gonna let him have his metamorphosis. I'm gonna let him do what he has to do.
Yep.
Right. And I also wonder if that quote came from the fact that we are missing rituals in our society, that we don't have a true rite of passage for men these days, because it is absolutely necessary, right? In the Amazon, they got kids fucking putting their hands in gloves that bullet ants are ass down in, and they're getting stung multiple times for 10 minutes, and they take those gloves off, and they cannot react to it emotionally. And once that 24 hours subsides and the pain goes away, then they're like, okay, you're a man now.
So don't you think that because you are a martial artist and he's coming up in a martial arts environment that there's a constant rite of passage? Every day is almost a rite of passage. Don't we? Last night, I kicked everybody's ass. The night before, I got my ass handed to me by some of the a 24-year-old fucking black belt who's 6'4", right?
I would say that
there's something that there's always some type of rite of passage, even when you get older.
I would say that that's healthy development, but men need an actual rite of passage.
I had a bar mitzvah. It was very difficult.
I don't even know what they do.
Do some of it. What do you say?
You just read.
Yeah, but symbolically, I guess that's what makes you become a man.
Yeah. So
I know what I'm gonna do for him when he gets of age, when he's 18.
Bullet ant gloves.
Hell no, not that bad. There's something called the Inca Trail where you go to Peru, you go to the Sacred Valley, you go to a certain spot, and then you're able to hike, I think it's 7 days up to Machu Picchu.
That's cool.
Right? So the day he turns 18, I'm going to tell my boys, because I'm going to be training him, right? Do you talk about that day-to-day training? Right, he's already in it. My boy could do 6 pull-ups. Like he's got it in his brain that
I can't do 1 pull-up.
yeah, he got it in his brain that hey, training is vital. Like this is what we do. Before he can touch a fucking electronic in the morning, you got to do 50 push-ups.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's him and his older brother. Right, this is the bonus kid. They know as soon as they fucking wake up in the morning, do not don't touch the fucking TV, don't touch the iPad. No. 50 push-ups, brush the teeth. And then when I wake up, I go out there and I do it my damn self.
Yeah.
Right? Boom. They see me do the push-ups. All right. Now we can start our day. Okay.
All right, I got to cut you off. We got to get out of here. We got another podcast coming in after us.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
I've been training jiu-jitsu for 4 years. In 4 years, I got hurt 6 times. I received stem cell injections in my wrists, elbows, shoulders, both knees, and I got stem cells recently injected in my left index finger. After a week and a half, I was right back at it, going the way I like to go at it. Italy Heal Biogenics, they're friendly, they're patient, they answer all the questions you might have. Educate yourself, call Lee Heal, ask about stem cells, and see where it takes you.
Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
That's been 2 hours.
Bro, I have not finished the fucking thought.
I'm sorry. It's an hour and 25. He's got to throw us out because somebody else is about to walk in. I'm sorry, bro. You want to finish the thought? Finish the thought.
No,
we
I'm
got
just
a couple
saying,
of things.
I started all these stories and
You didn't know, but that,
I didn't finish the combat hippies. I didn't finish the fucking the history.
It's
Then
okay.
you got to come back, bro.
That means
bro.
to be
Brawling.
continued.
So watch this. Take some notes. Come back, bro. You know you're always welcome here.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever
Come
you
back
want.
for
I love
part
having
7.
You on. I love it. I don't think we barely talked about jiu-jitsu, but I think we talked about some things that I when I have people come on, I like to learn about their life around. Like I want to talk about the jiu-jitsu, but I want to know about your life as it relates to jiu-jitsu.
I mean,
So
there's
you just
plenty of
did.
jiu-jitsu.
So hey, let me just do a couple things real quick. So shout out to Alif. You see me over here? Can you get me over? Right, Alif sent us some really cool products over Dru's shoulder. We've got some roll-ons and some creams that I'm going to be using. I just opened it today. I haven't tested. I've got this Alif MK tape. I'm going to be using. I'm going to test all this stuff out. I'll let you guys know what I think, and maybe they come on and sponsor us as well. So thank you, Alif, for the package. BioProTech.com. BioProteinTech.com. You get $30 off with code JJD on their regularly priced kits. That is the it's a synthetic HGH, or it makes your body produce natural. I should say it right. It's a synthetic alternative to HGH. It's going to make your body produce human growth hormone. Okay, so again, bioproteintech.com. You get $30 off with code JJD. BJJ box. We should have a box coming in. I'll do an unboxing on the next episode. TheBJJbox.com. Get 20% off with your first box. Use code JJD20. All right. Check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, support. At Uncle Milty BJJ on Instagram. And also, I just want to say, my extended family, my daughter's family had a tragedy on Monday. Her stepdad passed away. So rest in peace, Thomas Carroll. All right, we'll leave it there.
To the family.
Marine.
Huh?
Former Marine. He was a Marine.
Semper Fi.
Yeah. Thank you for watching and listening, everybody. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu. Wuss. Over here.